Hey guys, what's going on? Justin from Muddy River Outdoors. Today it is about the middle of May, which means we are getting real close to time to start running diddy poles and rod and reeling. And everybody knows that you can't do that without bait. So today I'm going to go over how I throw a cast net. I looked on YouTube when I first got my cast net and I wanted to learn how to do it. There's lots of different ways to throw a cast net. So after some research, the way that I'm going to show you is the way that I found works best for me. That doesn't mean it's the only way, it doesn't mean it's the best way. That's just what works for me. So hang tight and we'll get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing that I want to say about throwing a cast net is you need to be familiar with the laws of the state that you're in. The state that I'm in, we can throw cast nets, but we can only target certain fish for bait. When we throw a cast net, we can't target the bluegill, sunfish, or bullheads. Those are the primary, baits that we're looking for when we're running diddy poles. But you cannot target those fish when you're throwing a cast net. Mainly what we're throwing a cast net for in the state that I'm from will be your shad. Also, you might get into a few rough fish, like maybe some baby carp or something like that, some real small carp. My understanding is that would be okay as well, but you got to stay away from basically the game fish. Like I said, your bluegill, your sunfish, and your bullheads. And also crappies. Stay away from all of that in the state that I'm in. But aside from that, the other fish are what we're looking for when we're throwing the cast net. So that being said, we'll get into how I throw it. All right, so first thing I want to point out about my cast net setup is I carry my cast net in a 5-gallon bucket. And I don't have just one 5-gallon bucket, I have two 5-gallon buckets, one inside of the other. The reason I have that is the first 5-gallon bucket is to carry my cast net. The second one is, once I catch my bait, is to put my bait in that bucket. Then I also have my lid, which I've cut a little notch in my lid. That's for my aerator, so that I can put the lid on the bucket with the bait, keep my bubbler in there, and keep my bait alive. And then as I'm walking out of the timber or wherever it is, typically I'm getting my bait from farm ponds, up creeks and stuff like that, and I have to do some walking. So that's what my second bucket is for, is to put my cast net back into the second bucket. And then when I'm ready to go back to the truck, it's simple. You just carry your buckets out and you're good to go. So I really like this setup. So that's how I do that part of it. So to throw the cast net, first thing we're going to do is get into our bucket. We're going to reach in and we're going to grab our throw line. Grab the loop. You'll push your rope through the center of the loop, making another loop. What that's for is to put your hand through that loop and cinch it down tight. Okay? From there, what we're going to do is put your hand in front of you like this, take the rope and put it so that it's away from you. Make a loop and you'll just keep making loops, and those loops should be going away from you. You'll make these loops all the way down till you get to the braille lines. Reach down and grab the horn or the yoke. Go ahead and pull it all the way out of your bucket. Grab the horn, pull your rope so that the braille lines are pulled tight. Grab the horn like that and pull back on it so that it's pulling the net tight. Then you can reach down with this hand, grab the horn. What I like to do is come down like this, pull it up so that my hand is about at my waist and that the weights or the dead line is just above my foot. Okay? Now you can let go of the horn and transfer it to this hand and lay so that the horn again is going away from you, the same direction that the rope is wrapped. So now you have it in your hand like this. From this point, what you want to do is about in the middle of the net, start gathering it up in your hand like this. And as you're gathering it, you're kind of pulling like this to make sure that that dead line doesn't have any tangles in it down at the weights. What you're looking for is to gather about half, maybe 3/4 of the weights in this hand, and the other set is below you. Okay? Now you're ready to cut it in half like this, so that the weights that were in this hand now get laid again in this hand, and everything is always laid away from you. Okay? So now what you've got are 2 sets of weights coming down. You've got one closest to you and one that is away from you. Grab one of the weights about 3/4 of the way up on the set that's closest to you. Bring it up and pinch it in between your finger here. Now come down on that same side about 3/4 of the way down and grab another one, and now you're ready to throw. So what you're going to do to throw is you're going to come back like this and come around with an arcing motion like this to throw the net. Your release point is going to be about here with this hand, but the key to throwing the net is this hand right here on this weight right here. When you throw it, when you release with this hand, you want this hand to wait a second or so longer before you let go with this hand. That's what opens the net up into a circle. If you throw them both and you release both hands at the same time, this net is not going to open up. It's going to do what I call pancake. It's not going to open up. It's going to be half a circle. Instead of completely opened up, it's going to be folded like a pancake or a taco, you might say. So that's the key to that, is getting this hand to wait a second longer. And what I do to help that is, as I release with this hand, I take this hand and I kind of come back just a little bit with it and then release. So, and it doesn't take a whole lot of pressure or a lot of muscle to get this thing to open up. I'm going to take a few steps back and see if I can get this thing to open up right. Okay, so it's not too bad. It did open up 3/4 or maybe a little bit more. I think I had a little bit of a knot down here in the bottom of the dead line that I didn't see. But I mean, this right here, this would definitely catch fish. So I'm going to go ahead and do it a couple more times just to kind of show you the idea, and I'm sure I'll get a couple that open up nice. that one there opened up pretty good. Hopefully we can see that on camera. I'll do it one more time. Get a little closer here to the camera, so hopefully we can see it. Got my 1/2 to 3/4 weights in this hand here. The rest of it's in this hand. Cut it right down the middle. Lay it right over the top so that those weights are going forward. Grab one weight up top, another one down below. We're ready to throw. Okay, so there we go, just like that. For me, like I said, this is the method that I found works best for me to throw a cast net. There's lots of other ways. If you try this way and there's too many steps, too complicated, or it just doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. Like I said, there was lots of ways that didn't work for me either. So if you find a better way that you like to do it, go ahead and leave a comment, and you know, maybe I'll learn something from you guys. So I hope this maybe helps somebody out. Again, once you've caught your bait, how to put your cast net back into the 5-gallon bucket. I know that might seem like pretty obvious, but if you don't put it in there, if you don't put it back in the bucket the right way, you'll end up with just a mess the next time you go to get it out, and it'll just take you that much longer you'll have to work out all the knots and tangles and everything. So if you go ahead and just get it all nice and stretched out like this, come down so that you've got the weights in your hand all the way gathered up down. Put the weights in the bottom of the bucket, and then just start folding the net on top of itself, however many times it takes to get it down in the bucket. And then also, I had the line already wound up like I was going to throw it, but now all I got to do is just take it right off my hand, and it goes right in the bucket, and now you're good to go. You can go ahead and put the lid back on, and it's ready for the next time. Just reach in the next time. The line is on top, and it just comes right out. Yoke is the first thing that comes out right after the line, and you're good to go. So that's all there is to it. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm new to YouTube. I'm trying to get this channel up and going. I'm trying to get some content out there that is going to be helpful for some guys. Also just trying to get some content that's enjoyable to watch. So appreciate it if you guys would like and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank Fatal Addiction for giving me the opportunity to use music on my videos. So thank you very much, Fatal Addiction, for letting me use that music. Please go check those guys out. They're on YouTube. They're a local band here in town, but they are awesome. So check out Fatal Addiction. Thanks, guys.